So this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and today we're going to unbox it and give you my first impressions on the all-new flagship from Samsung. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Quick shout out to Samsung for sending this out for review. However, everything that is said in this video is of my own review, my own opinion, and it's not a paid sponsorship. They simply sent this out for me to check out. I also ordered my own in titanium black, so you're going to see a different color in the future on the channel. In addition, I'm ordering the other smaller versions, which will come later. You'll see right here, we do have Galaxy S25 Ultra, a little insignia of the phone, and the S Pen right there. On the left side, you'll see Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. On the bottom, UPC codes, don't care about those really. Samsung logo, some tape, and on the back, you're going to find yourself what comes included in the box. The packaging contains Galaxy S25 Ultra, S Pen, USB-C to USB-C cable, quick start guide, terms and conditions. Still a nice box, but I'm not here for the box. I'm here for my first impressions of this phone. And we did get the titanium silver blue option, as you can see right here. Definitely a nice color. I think it's one of the nicer colors out there, but they do have quite a few colors, including the one that came like last year. It's pretty similar color that came last year. They have that one as well. Titanium black, which is the one I ordered. We're going to see that later on the channel. Titanium white silver, this silver blue. The titanium gray, which is a lot like this one. Titanium jade green, as well as titanium jet black. Titanium pink gold. So quite a few color options with a few Samsung.com exclusives. Now this phone is going to go for right around $1,299, and that peel off was fantastic. Did you hear that? That was fantastic peeling. The sound, it was fantastic. Let's go ahead and boot this thing up. When I boot this thing up, we'll talk about the trade-in values being spectacular. We're looking at like $900 if you trade in the S24 Ultra, like $900 for the Z Fold 6. And there's more incentives. You can even trade any Android phone, no matter what it is, and get $50 off. I mean, that's something. And they're also giving the same storage as the base storage for like 512 gig for the same price. And it's also a discount for the 1 terabyte, which you'll also get during this pre-order phase. This phone launches on February 7th for open sales. So I skipped the sign-in process. We're now in the phone. We do have an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. As you all know, you can see the all-new Now brief, which was mentioned at Unpacked. And that fingerprint is in a great location. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the edges. I always like to start out by looking at the build. You'll see we do have more rounded corners, so not as sharp as the Galaxy S24 Ultra of last year. You'll see some microphone holes over there. On the left side, also pretty rounded, but it's still got a rectangular feel, but definitely not like super pointy in the corners. On the right side, you'll see nice buttons right there. And these are going to give you a pretty tactile feel. I could feel it out already. They have a good width to them, a little bit. You can feel them out pretty good. We do have ourselves a power button right there. Over here, we do have ourselves a camera, which is kind of laid out in a similar fashion to last year, which is not a bad thing. I thought it was already pretty symmetrical. And then if we scroll down, you'll see we do have ourselves what appears to be a nice back material that kind of like changes colors depending on the lighting you're in. So that I always kind of like stuff like that. It's pretty cool to look at. You'll see on the bottom, we'll find ourselves USB-C. We do have a SIM card tray, and this also supports eSIM. And we also do have ourselves the S Pen right here, and it's going to be the same color as the current S25 Ultra that I have in my hand right now. And I'm assuming this color will change depending on the color of the phone you go with. This S Pen is going to retain most of the features except for the Bluetooth features, which Samsung says is because people weren't using those features as much, and they're reverting to more features like using their hand to go ahead and launch the camera. So when you flip it around, you could kind of just put your hand here. Let's go like that, and it could just take a photo for you. So generally, I would say that the camera is definitely going to be used more often than the S Pen to the Bluetooth S Pen to take photos now. You're just going to have to use it like that. That's just something to mention. My first impressions on the display, I do love how they decreased the bezels. They actually stretched them out. They're very, very thin now, but they're even thinner now. Not massively so, but enough to stretch this out to make this a 6.9 inch panel. Also, it seems to still have those anti-reflective properties. It comes at full HD out of the box, so you have to go to QHD plus to 1440p by 3120. And then if we go over here to vivid modes, we do have natural and vivid, and you could go to a warm panel. If we go to advanced settings, of course, you can tweak the vividness up a bit. Overall, the actual quality on my first impressions looks almost identical, looks nearly the same. So if you had an S24 Ultra, you tried one out, this display is going to be almost exactly the same in terms of the actual quality. But with this having a 92.5% screen to body ratio, this Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra here is the thinnest bezels Samsung Ultra. Look at this thing. It's just so thin. Also, we do have like closer to what I seen. This looks a little closer to what I seen last year with S24 Plus. So yeah, this is a really, really nice, true, almost all screen phone right here. You're really probably going to enjoy that. This is IP68 dust and water resistance, so you should get about 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. And this also does have eSIM support, like I mentioned earlier. So if you do want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. Now, what's housed inside of here is the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which I'll have to test out over the week. I'll be signing in with that later, checking all these things out and seeing how this phone actually performs. But 12 gigs of RAM, 8 Elite with the One UI 7. This has the custom Samsung chip, which is overclocked compared to the competition, which is going to make this even faster. So I'm guessing this is going to be, again, for the entirety of this year, one of the fastest phones of the year. This shape is kind of reminding me of the Note 5. You remember the Note 5? It was kind of like this shape a little bit. Probably a little sharper in the corners, but this is definitely a really practical and functional shape for this phone. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it. It still has that Galaxy S24 Ultra Note kind of feel, but just with a slight more rounded corner here on the edges. If you never had the S24 Ultra, you'll probably just want to jump right up to this one like you're coming from a 23 or a 22. When it comes to the software, we are looking at One UI 7, which is going to have enhanced Galaxy AI features. In addition to that, it does have a new control panel, which is quite nice. In addition, it has better animations than ever before. They look super smooth. All new icons. The whole layout is just different across the board. And this is going to be the full-blown non-beta version right here. So you'll be able to find yourself with the ability to have custom orders, you have a vertical tray as well, and you can also do horizontal. So this is going to be a really, really great software this year if you like a lot of features. If we go in here, we go to themes, you'll be able to go ahead and check out a bunch of themes, wallpapers, icon packs, AOD, and AOD is just always on display modes and stuff of that sort. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the wallpapers here. If I go to change wallpapers and I click right here on featured, you're going to get this Galaxy S wallpaper that matches the color of your phone. This is titanium silver blue, but I feel like this year you're going to do a lot more of the generative AI wallpapers. That's what they're offering, a lot of wallpapers in here, and you can get some nice ones. You can actually pick how you want that wallpaper to be generated, and then you can have your own personalized wallpaper. So that's pretty nice as well. So it looks like we do have 12 gigabytes of RAM in here. I wish we would see 16 gigabytes on the next version. I don't think this is going to be a problem, as the 8 Elite is super fast as a phone, so you probably don't need laptop level RAM, but I have seen other phones with it, so I'm not going to mention any, but I would like to see Samsung move up to 16 gigs of RAM on the next Ultra, just to give it a little bit more longevity, a little bit more performance in the area of multitasking, since this is one of my favorite phones with multitasking abilities, such as the ability to pop view, to go split screen. There's a lot of great multitasking features. It's actually, Samsung's like an OG in the multitasking game. They've been doing it for a while. We also do have ourselves the ability to charge this thing at 45 watts through a Samsung super fast charger. In addition, this 5,000 milliamp. I also would like to see Samsung go up a bit in the size of the battery. And maybe this is lithium ion technology, so we'll see how this holds up. They are claiming their longest battery ever with up to 31 hours of video playback. So I'm going to be putting this thing through the ringer and seeing if it can actually hit that. Because this is an Ultra phone, you also have the ability to just plug this into a monitor and use things like Samsung DeX. So that's going to be pretty cool for this phone, I would say. And it's going to retain things like circle to search down here. So you hold this button down and circle to search. You'll also be able to hold the power button over here to access Gemini. So a really easy way to get into this great AI features right there on screen. I think this is a really going to be a very efficient and powerfully fast, while having a lot of great enhancements to the AI this year. In the area of camera, Samsung has improved their ultra wide camera. So let's go ahead and get in here. They do have themselves a 50 megapixel ultra wide. You can also change that right there as well. So you can go ahead and make sure it's in the 50 megapixels, because it does default to 12. And you have 1X. And within One UI 7, they did improve the ability to easily access camera's controls over here. If we go to more, you'll see a lot of similar modes that we find on even some of the older Samsung S24s. You have Pro Video, Slow Motion, Pro Panoramic, Expert RAW, Portrait Video. This is not a bad thing, because a lot of these features were very useful. In addition, when you do video, you are going to be able to change the audio playback after the fact. And you also have a smooth zoom slider as well. So if we go take a look at this video, there is an ability to go here and hit edit. I think it's through the AI actually. Let's go back here one more time. We'll hit the AI button and you'll have audio eraser. So you'll have the ability to erase audio like you've seen in the demos, and it's going to allow you to get like wind noise and things like that out of your video. So that seems pretty fun and pretty useful actually. So that's a good AI enhancement. But other than that, it is going to still retain that super long zoom that you've come to know and love from Samsung. Very, very long zoom, up to 100 times. And it also retains 100 times zoom. And of course, we're just zooming in on a box. So it's right there. That's not going to look really great. But outdoors, you'll get some pretty good far out results. So it's still a zoom king here for sure. Overall, I do like the camera setup. I think they could improve, just go a little bit further on the next model, give us maybe even more features, because it's kind of very similar to the S24 Ultra with a few enhancements. So I like to see bigger changes to the next camera. Changes such as a more improved front-facing camera. We're still on a 12 megapixel front-facing camera, which is not bad. It's one of the better ones out there when it comes to post-processing. Doesn't show too much of my zits and things on my face. But at the same time, I would like to see a higher quality front-facing camera to match those rear cameras, like a 50 megapixel or something of that sort. We also can do 4K 60 here on the front, which definitely allows us to match the video resolution to the rear cameras, and I think they're gonna out pretty well. We also have HDR video, 4K at 120 in the Pro Video mode, so it is really loaded with the features. I mean, I could make this video and spend like an hour talking about everything. There's just so much to talk about with this beast of a phone. And they still have the S Pen, which is good. Some people have been saying they don't use the S Pen, but they still retain these main shortcut features that you mostly are going to use. However, in the S Pen settings, those Bluetooth settings are not there anymore. So if you're looking for like Bluetooth S Pen, you're not going to have them here. However, keep in mind that the core usage of what the S Pen is really designed for drawing, for, you know, cutting out things on the screen, for screenwriting, the core uses of this are still all here. So I'm not really upset about this too much, but if you really use those features where you like click the S Pen to like use like a wand and stuff, which I never used actually, you might want to just get the S24 Ultra. But honestly, it doesn't matter to me. That feature, I don't use the S Pen like that. I use it for a writing tool, and it's still there, which is nice. Almost no other flagship has an S Pen to begin with, or a pen to begin with, like at this tier, this level. So it still separates itself, regardless of the fact that they removed one of the features that some people are going to complain about. And remember, people are always going to complain, you know, that they find a feature they don't like, or they remove something. People are looking out for things to just complain about. So I wouldn't pay too much stock in it. Just think about, do you use that feature? If you do, then you might want to go with the older one. If you don't, you'll definitely want to consider this one, because it's definitely faster and definitely more modern and has a better ultra wide camera. So taking a look at this next to the S24 Ultra, it's lighter. It seems less pointy in the corners, and overall it just feels like a more polished, refined, easier to hold phone. So those Bluetooth features that were removed from the S Pen allowed this to be a lighter phone, which I like, because I don't like heavy phones, and this one lost 15 grams off the body. So it's definitely much lighter feeling than the S24 Ultra, and it just feels like a refinement, polished version of the S24 Ultra, moving Samsung forward. So I like it. And One UI 7 is definitely a really nice software. I enjoy all the features that come here as well. So there's not really much wrong with this phone. I think Samsung has a winner once again, and the trade-in deals are pretty awesome. So stay tuned. I'm going to be doing some more reviews, some comparisons and stuff of that sort down the line. And I'm also going to be getting my own titanium black version of this, so stay tuned for that. And let me know what you want to see, what you need to know before I launch the full review. I'm probably launch that within a week or so, maybe less. So go ahead and leave your comments, your thoughts, your questions down below. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.